being said, welcome to Market Insights. I'm Sarah Touchdown with Landmark Title. We do this with Scott Kibbers, our armless chair, every month. So this is the first Thursday of every month. We go over the facts, figures, stats, what's going on in our market. And today is a little extra special because we actually don't get all the stats dropped until tomorrow. So you'll have to get in touch with your rep if you want the specifics. But that being said, because we're not going over some of the specifics, Scott is going to be giving us some deep insight into some really big things that are going on in our Phoenix market. You may have heard about Zillow and what's going on with them. You may have heard about Opendoor and what's going on with them. But those are all rumors, myths that Scott is going to really fill us in on today. And you're getting the best, most accurate, most up-to-date information on all of this. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Scott Kibbers, our armless chair, and he is going to get us rolling this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Sarah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last time I get to be introduced as the Armless Board Chair. As of October of later this month, I'll hand the gavel over to the 2021 Board Chair, Michelle Shelton. She takes over in 2021. I'll still be on the Armless Board for another 3 years through 2023. And in 2021, I'm no longer the Vice Chair. Little humor there. Let's begin, Sarah. Let's jump into that first slide and let's talk a little bit about what's happening with Armless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as of today, Armless has made a change about rentals, and it takes place effective today. In the national scope of an MLS, 14% of the MLSs in the nation let agents like a lot of us put rentals into their MLS system. Arizona Regional MLS is one of them. As things have moved forward in the last 5 years with Airbnb and short-term rentals and what we have a lot of in Scottsdale and other places, short-term rentals, it became really cumbersome for agents to say, gosh, this brokerage, they didn't update the dates of this being available, and I've got to go in and search every single listing and check on that for my client. And there was a series of people, agents that wanted Armless to be the solution of that. And so we put together a special task force on rentals, and we came up with this solution. And the solution is this. Rentals in the MLS that are for 30 days and longer, tax rate for all listings and the taxes you would pay to your local city of Scottsdale, Phoenix, etc. When you have rentals that are short-term, meaning 30 days or less, like an Airbnb or a weekly rental, the tax rate that is supposed to be collected by the homeowner to pay into those cities is at the same tax rate as a hotel hospitality industry. So there are two different sets of rules, 30 days below and 30 days and above. So Armless has made the decision as a board to put this into effect today on short-term rentals. And just to explain that the best I could, that is taking place as of today, ladies and gentlemen. Moving forward to our next slide, Sarah, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this slide is just a few hours old. This is supply and demand in the last 48 hours. This is an Armless slide that just dropped. And what happens here is it looks at our absorption rate, and there's currently a 1 month supply of inventory for all of our MLS, and our absorption rate as of this morning is 100.32%. We are spot on 100% absorption rate today. We're still looking at homes under contract having to pierce the 125, 135% rate to have a true absorption rate at 100%. This is very accurate, and as of this morning. Next slide, Sarah. This slide is a month old. This is what this type of report will actually be delivered by the Armless Stat folks tomorrow morning between 3 and 5. My commitment to you and everybody on the call today is we'll look at all of Maricopa County. We'll then drill into about the top 15, 18 cities and let you know what's happening with the active listings, the sold volume, the median sale price, along with supply and median days on market for the top 13, 18, 20 cities in the MLS. What I want you to take away from this slide here is our median sale price is up 14% across the board in all of Maricopa County as of last month. We are nationally, through Case-Shiller report, we are currently having price increases every month for the last 14 months. We're the fastest growing home price city in the nation. And we'll have a little bit more validity on that tomorrow. Sarah, if you would, for the next slide, please. This is this morning's activity. Late yesterday after activity. We have 6559 active listings throughout all Maricopa County. Solds on this date were 7351, and under contract, that's where we got to get out to the 125, 135 homes under contract to even get that 100% absorption rate, 11,642. Those are homes that are ideally closing in 10 to 45 days, sometimes a little bit longer. Our market is super brisk. There are a series of things that people are looking for in terms of marketing to your clients. A couple of the top 3-4 things they're looking at is some people, due to COVID, loss of job, etc. From a marketing campaign, if you were an agent looking for listings or trying to help a buyer, one of the phrases would be, are you unable to keep up with your mortgage payments? Our market is very brisk and moving fast. Can you do that? The second thing is, now that you've been working from home, definition of home-based business, the two biggest cities that are losing population are San Francisco and New York. People are finding that working from home could be Phoenix, even though my company's based in San Francisco, that they define home as anywhere in the United States. That's putting pressure, that's putting growth demand into our market at a high level. And so the question is, do you need a different house? The next one that's really applying to this, in this part of our market conditions with low inventory, high demand, is, are you ready to buy a new house, but you're scared to sell? And that's a great script, a great message to communicate. As agents, we no longer just have to help somebody buy and or sell. We've got to take them dominoed out of their current living situation into their new one with the least amount of difficulty. A lot of people don't want to move twice. A lot of people don't want to be homeless. You as realtors out there having a great strategy to care for your clients is paramount. And there's still people out there. The fourth one that's important right now from a marketing campaign would be, there's still people out there that need help with down payment assistance. They could be credit rich and cash poor. Our interest rates on the national level are around 3.05%. We had one of our agents share that one of his clients just got a 30-year fixed at 2.2%. Interest rates are at an all-time low, and a 2% mortgage, 2.5% mortgage, when housing prices are going up 14%. Oh my gosh, is it a great time to be a homeowner in Arizona? Sarah, if you would, for me, the next slide. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our example of the rentals. So all these infographic reports that we've had in the past with the five circles, blue, green, orange, yellow, and purple, we can run that same report for rentals. And so I just wanted to give you some texture as of last month. For all of Maricopa County, we had 1,587 active listings. Now, a couple data points there. Not all the rentals are in our MLS, obviously, but the trend is 1,587 currently. There's different locations that people post their rentals. From a trend line, this is down 31% from where it was a year ago, and from the trend line in the yellow mid-level median price, we've gone up from $1.05 a square foot on average for all of Maricopa County to $1.16 per square foot all of Maricopa County, and that's a 10% increase in rent rates just all across the board. If you go to the next slide for me, Sarah, we have just a couple cities identified. Phoenix has gone from $1.08 to $1.22 on average. That is, gosh, I thought I had this set up that I would never be able to receive a call, and unfortunately I did. So let me jump back into my Zoom call here. Here we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And so we're up 13% of all Phoenix. The next slide, Sarah, is in Scottsdale. Scottsdale's up 7.9%, but when you look at a rental in Scottsdale, right now the median price per square foot is $1.37. So you got a 1,000 square foot home, that's $1,300 a month. You got a 2,000 square foot home, that's double or triple. Please know that's the average run rate in Scottsdale. Next slide. Paradise Valley plays even a little bit different than that. They're currently at $1.53 per square foot, and that's up 15% from a year ago in all of Paradise Valley. And their listings are down and their sold transactions are up. They don't do a lot of rentals in PV, but they've done 14 versus 7 this time a year ago. Sarah, next slide. This is a very important slide, ladies and gentlemen. And what I'd like you to look at in this is current active listings breakdown. Green is single family detached. We're currently at 74.16% of our active listings today are a single family home, versus this time a year ago, it was up at 82%. In where did that growth come from, or where did the reduction of single family come from? Is townhomes have had a significant growth. They've gone from 15.41 a year ago down to 22, or up to 22% of our market. So that in terms of, it's not a double, but it's definitely up 50% from where it was this time a year ago. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure we're covering manufactured home. A year ago this time, it represented a mere 2.4% of our market. Today, it's 4.62% of our market. And I highlight that, ladies and gentlemen, because it's had a big jump in price. And when you go from 2.4 to 4.6, you have essentially doubled the number of manufactured homes that are currently active on the market. My takeaway is single family homes are always our bellwether as what we track. What's happening to the single family home. When the single family home price gets to a point where the average consumer can't secure that, then they'll move into a townhome, condo, and when they can no longer afford that, if it just doesn't hit their budget, they're happy to have a manufactured home. On the flip side, should we cycle in the future, the manufactured home price is usually the first ones to go down. Second to go down are condo and townhomes before the single family starts to feel any kind of pressure in home price. Sarah, next. And so with that said, what I wanted to point out with this slide here is the bottom half of the graph, dwelling type, is all products, all things together, average sale price today is $1.89 or $189 a square foot. And that applies directly to single family. But if you look at the townhome, even in the last quarter, it's up over $5-6 a square foot. Actually, it's $5.59 a square foot in the last quarter. And then the other thing too is if you go back to a year ago, manufactured homes were at $1.07, and today they're at $107, my apology. And today they're at $119.94 a square foot for a manufactured home. Just want to let you know that's what's happening in the market, and that's a 10% increase in manufactured home prices. Sarah? Ladies and gentlemen, this is from yesterday. This is the showing time report on showings for our community. And even through the pandemic, in the gold color, you can see the 2020 year average. You see where in February, March, and April, we dipped hard in showings. We have come back and we're actually exceeding by 8.2% the number of showings of properties that we would normally have this time a year ago. So if that's any indication of our market and people wanting a home, we have demand. Sarah? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about the IPO for Opendoor. Open Door, again, launched in Phoenix, is one of their cities. They're headquartered in San Francisco, but their operation is in Arizona. They're in approximately 20 to 25 cities for a second time. They did pause during COVID. They're back to buying houses again. They've raised capital a couple times, but they have an IPO out for $4.8 billion. That is the dollar amount they're searching for their next round of funding with an open IPO and going public. And with that, they're seeking to have a substantial amount. In this article, they're talking about $1 billion worth of cash to go out and help buy homes and then get them turned around. This is coming from Arizona as a launch point. They have what we call a buy box. So the buy box in Phoenix has been between $150,000 and $500,000. And the sweetest spot of their buy box is somewhere between $250,000, $275,000 on the low end, $350,000, $375,000 on the high end. And they offer convenience and a 90-day close. And do they take a cut from that? They do. But there are people out there that are benefiting from this service, and it's in growth mode. And that's reflective of our housing market in general. The next slide, please, Sarah. This is just a quick update on Zillow. Zillow did open a brokerage here in Arizona. It's the first one of its kind. They, of course, have had a transformation. If I can go back in time just about 2.5 years ago, the Swanepoel T360 meeting that was in Southern California 2.5 years ago, Richard Burton had gone from chairman of the board back into the CEO role when I saw him speak for about 45 minutes. And the takeaway from that meeting 2.5 years ago is he said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back to a startup mentality in every department of our company, from the front desk receptionist and how we answer the phone to every department. We are going to take on a startup mentality. And with that startup mentality, you run a lot of sprints, you move quickly, you pivot, and you want to improve at a fierce rate. And I asked myself the question that day, God, I wonder what that's going to happen long-term with their role in real estate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first city that they've opened a designated brokerage to is here in Phoenix. There are currently about somewhere between 9 and 15 licenses currently at that location. It's in Scottsdale. With that said, their model for the brokerage is this. They're going to model a lot like Redfin. They would like to have agents who are employees of their company and paid a salary. So that's number one. Number two, they had Zillow Offers. Zillow Offers launched 2.5, 3 years ago, approximately. Richard refers to that as a Zillow 2.0 point in their history. Their stock price was in the $7 billion, $8 billion mark 2.5 years ago. Today it's north of $20 billion company. The pandemic has caused a reshuffling, a refocus of consumers. One, they were home. Two, they had time. And so the number of eyeballs on Zillow has surged, and they continue to try to improve the experience that the consumer can have interacting with their company. As a result, they have again launched a brokerage here in Phoenix. I think that's enough for Zillow right now. Sarah, if we can go to the next slide. What I wanted to just point out real quickly here, and I apologize for the fuzziness of this slide, but the information here is important. Ladies and gentlemen, when we compare property search 2018 to 2019 in blue versus 2019 to 2020 in gold, 2020, starting in January, pre-pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, we were surging. We were going to have a great year in real estate. All the indicators were saying we're going to have a great year in real estate. And so January, February, we surged, we plateaued mid-March and dipped March and April due to the pandemic in terms of property searches, still far bigger than we had in 2018-19. But then starting mid-May or mid-April and going into May, ladies and gentlemen, the number of searches, people looking to, again, change their home, move up, move down, we are so far greater than we were this time a year ago. Next slide, Sarah. This is in terms of property views overlaying back and forth versus the search. And again, it's illustrating that we have surged compared to what we've done in 2018, 19 versus 19 and 20. Next slide. And then listing volume. So in blue, 18, 19, our seasonality nationally, and this is a national slide, not a local slide. This is showing March, April, May. The spring is when we do list the most homes. Due to COVID, we definitely paused mid-March through April and May. We slowed down nationally, but we're back on track starting in mid-July and August of what we would normally see this time. Next slide. As we turn to the end of our day today, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a quick update on what's happening with the Utah real estate industry and what they're doing with data distribution. So I put all the detail I could on here for you to read later. But the point I want to make here is this. The technology we used for many decades to move data out of an MLS and to syndicate was called a RETS feed, and it's unique to real estate, RETS. In technology today, having an open-faced API system is paramount for moving data quickly and efficiently and accurately. And so in this article, Brad Belke, who is a top MLS CEO, also an attorney, in Utah, with the exception of Park City and St. George, Utah, in that state, they have a statewide MLS. Let me just say that one more time. Minus Park City and St. George, Utah, the whole state of Utah is under one MLS. They have things that we just dream about being able to do as far as serving our agents and throughout the state. With that, they are making a demand to go away from a RETS feed and that everything is going to have to move through an open API. And that's just going to move data on the back end easier, faster, more accurately. The other part that's interesting with the Utah Association of Realtors, they're one of 5 MLSs in the nation. Those 5 are Utah, San Jose, California, Portland, Oregon, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and also the Arizona Regional MLS. Those 5 MLSs have gone together and created a product called, or a company called the MLS Aligned. And what that means is this, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what data you use on the top of collecting data and inputting data. In the Arizona Regional MLS, we use the FBS product called Flex MLS, and we've used it for a long time. 15 years, give or take. We can use that tool to input our data. What's happening with the MLS Aligned is the output of that data. The output of that data is then brought together and aggregated in a way that all 5 of those communities can look at information. It doesn't matter how it goes in, how it comes out is the same. And that's the MLS Aligned. And that's why you need an open API. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, has an impact of over 100,000 realtors in the nation so far. But with this concept, when you look at the number of MLSs in our nation, we have 605 today throughout the United States, 10, 11 of which are in the state of Arizona. And they're consolidating at a rate of 3 to 5 a month and have been for several years now. At some point, we're going to get down to 150 and to 100 and possibly 50. When we look out to who becomes relevant, who stays and who gets absorbed somehow, there's a belief out there in the industry that you have to have influence on 300,000 realtors at the national level. Doesn't mean they're all in the same company. They just have shared data, shared experience. There's going to be some things that come out between now and Christmas that will cause us to jump from just over 100,000 agents of influence to over 200,000 agents of influence at the national stage. And having an open API and having leadership like Utah Realtors Metro MLS in Milwaukee, does us a lot of favors in terms of our exposure, our capability, and what we can deliver to our local subscriber base, agent base, which is currently just at 40,000 agents. So I put this in there as a footprint and just a discussion point of being valid. It is a lot of good things. Sarah, I think we're almost done. Let's check one more, maybe.
Scott, we did have a question come in about a statewide MLS. Do you think it will ever be possible that we will get that here in Arizona again?
Boy, that is a $1 million question. So I pause as board chair to even comment on that one way or the other. What I can tell you is there's more and more cooperation going on. When you look at our Phoenix Arizona Regional MLS was made up 3 years ago of the West Valley, Weimar, Phoenix Association, Scottsdale Association, along with the Southeast Valley and Chandler Gilbert area. Southeast Valley and the West Valley are now We Serve. There's very strong leadership in that organization, and there were several MLSs in the nation or in our state that were struggling a little bit. One of them was Casa Grande, another one was, and they have become chapters of We Serve and Weimar and We Serve. And so 2 years ago, December 10th, the Arizona Regional MLS, we purchased the Sierra Vista MLS and incorporated that. And that now is a chapter. And then in the last 20 days, give or take, Santa Cruz County, south of Tucson, is going to become a chapter of We Serve and be part of our MLS. So it's coming. In the spirit of my conversation around the Utah Realtors piece, we are getting more and more conversation around sharing services and sharing data with people to the north of us and other places. That is a great thing for our realtor base. I know as a broker, I currently belong to 5 MLS. It pains me to think that I have to belong to 5 MLSs for my agents to have choice. If there could be an arrangement, and this is Scott's Christmas wish some year in the future, we don't have to merge together per se, but if we could have shared cooperation and compensation, you could have a listing in Prescott or Flag. I could come up as a realtor, or my daughter's realtor could come up and pay the brokerage a commission for being the buy side, or we could go up and list one up there. That I think would come sooner than statewide MLS. I did not mean to elongate my answer. Just wanted to give you some texture. Sarah, good question. Are there any other questions out there, Sarah?
That's it for now.
Beautiful. Okay.
But if you guys do have other questions, I think we're getting close to our question and answer portion.
Yes. And Sarah, I'm not sure if I have one more slide or not. I apologize.
You do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I didn't get to this slide sooner. Ladies and gentlemen, I was trying I just put the United States up there for this reason. Here in the Southwest Valley or Southwest part of the United States is Arizona. We have 40,000 subscribers in our MLS. It's one of the top 5 in the nation in terms of membership and subscribers. We do a lot of things right. Our costs aren't expensive. Get in. For instance, I just was asked to join the Sedona MLS. It cost me $1,400 as the broker to bring my brokerage into there, and then I still got to pay a quarterly fee, whereas the Arizona Regional MLS is currently $350, $375, whatever the number is to be a member. So we have low cost, great value, and in growth mode. When you take the whole United States and look at the 50 states and our capitals, knowing that there's 605 MLSs today, at some point that's going to continue to come down. A year from now, we'll have influence over 200,000 of the 1.3 million realtors today. And in the next 2 to 3 years, if we can get that piercing 300,000, ladies and gentlemen, I think our MLS will be valid and relevant for decades to come. That's the point I wanted to make with this map. Thank you, Sarah. If there's not any more questions, we can wind down. If there's a question or two, we can take that. Please know we'll get the download of the individual cities. We'll get that tomorrow morning. And for those on this call, I'm happy to have Sarah and her team do a great job. Get that out to everybody on it.
Yes, we will. We'll have all the other cities tomorrow. So please reach out to your rep that invited you today. We'll get these slides out and hopefully a recording this month to you as well. So if anybody has any questions, please let us know. Or once again, always reach out to your rep that invited you today. And like I said, we'll have the rest of the stats, facts, and figures for you available tomorrow. So reach out again. So if nobody has any questions, Scott, man, blew my mind today, covered everything extremely well. It's always great having you come and give us the updates because, we in this industry, we talk a lot. We hear a lot of information. There's sometimes conflictory information, and we don't really know the source. Sometimes it's rumors. So it's great to have somebody with your level of expertise come and really just weed through all the muck for us and give us, what's really going on so that we can take that back to our clients. So thank you for all of our Landmark Title business development managers for inviting your agents today. Thank you to Becky, Beth, Mary, Patty, Michael, Melinda, and Zach for being on today. And once again, if you need any help in the escrow and title industry, please think of us. We have 6 Landmark Title offices across the valley to serve you. So everything from escrow to title to marketing and your market industry stats, we are happy to help you with. So Scott, I think we're good. I don't see any other questions that popped up today. So thank you once again for being on. It's always a pleasure.
Glad to help. Have a great day out there, everybody. Cheers.